Never believed night shift horror stories. Every workplace has them, the kind of stories people tell to scare new employees or make boring jobs sound more interesting. I thought this job would be the same. I was hired as a night security guard for an office building on the edge of the city, far from residential areas, surrounded by empty parking lots and warehouses. The building wasn't old, but it wasn't new either. 4 floors, glass entrance, long hallways, dozens of empty offices that stayed locked and dark all night. My shift started at 11 at night and ended at 7 in the morning. The pay was unusually good for how simple the job sounded. Sit in the security room, watch the cameras, make 1 patrol every hour, log anything unusual. Nothing ever happens here, my supervisor told me during training. Just don't fall asleep. That line stuck with me more than it should have. The first few nights were exactly how he described. Quiet. Dead quiet. No movement on the cameras except the occasional flicker from faulty wiring. No cars outside. No people. Just the low hum of the building's ventilation system and the glow of the monitors lighting up the security room. Around 2 or 3 in the morning, the silence started to feel heavy, like pressure in my ears. On my 3rd night, I noticed the temperature drop. It wasn't gradual. One moment the room was comfortable, the next my breath was visible. I checked the thermostat. Normal. HVAC system working fine. I brushed it off. Old buildings do weird things at night. The next night the same thing happened. Same time. Around 2:30 a.m. A sudden sharp cold that crawled under my clothes. I started paying attention to the clock after that. On the 5th night, while watching the monitors, I heard a sound that made my stomach tighten. A dull thud. Somewhere above me. Not loud, not sharp, just heavy like something solid hitting the floor. I checked the cameras on the 4th floor. Empty hallways. No movement. I told myself it was nothing, maybe pipes, maybe the building settling. But the sound came again. Slower this time. Followed by another. And another. Footsteps. Not running. Not dragging. Walking. Slow and steady. I picked up my flashlight and radio and stepped out of the security room for my patrol earlier than scheduled. The hallway lights flickered slightly as I walked, casting long shadows along the walls. The building felt different at night when you were alone in it, like it was watching you move through it. When I reached the stairwell leading to the 4th floor, the footsteps stopped. Complete silence. I stood there listening, heart pounding, waiting to hear something, anything. Nothing. I finished the patrol quickly and returned to the security room, trying to laugh it off. That's when I noticed one of the monitors looked wrong. Camera 4F03, the one covering the far end of the 4th floor hallway, showed a figure standing near the emergency exit door. It wasn't moving. It wasn't facing the camera. Just standing there, tall and unnaturally still. The hallway lights behind it flickered, stretching its shadow across the floor. I leaned closer to the screen, expecting to see some detail, a uniform, a face, something. There was nothing. Just a dark shape where a person should be. I checked the timestamp. Live feed. My mouth went dry. I rewound the footage. 10 seconds earlier, the hallway was empty. 5 seconds earlier, still empty. The figure didn't walk into frame. It didn't open a door. It simply appeared. I watched the live feed again. The figure's head tilted slightly, slowly, as if listening. Then it turned just enough for me to realize something was wrong. It wasn't looking at the camera. It was looking past it, directly at me. I stepped back from the desk, my chair scraping loudly against the floor. At that exact moment, the radio on my belt crackled to life. I hadn't pressed the button. I hadn't touched it. There was no voice on the other end. Just breathing. Slow, controlled breathing close to the microphone. I stood frozen, staring at the radio as if it might explain itself. The breathing continued for several seconds, then stopped abruptly. The lights in the security room flickered once, twice. The monitor showing the 4th floor hallway went black. I reached for the mouse with shaking hands, thinking the camera feed had failed. Before I could do anything, the screen turned back on. But it wasn't the hallway anymore. It was the inside of the security room. My desk. My chair. My jacket hanging on the wall. The angle was wrong. Too high. Like the camera was mounted near the ceiling. And in the center of the frame, I was standing there, staring at the monitors, completely unaware that something was watching me from above. That was when I realized the cameras weren't just watching the building anymore. Something else was watching through them. And whatever it was, it knew exactly where I was. I stood completely still, staring at the monitor that showed the security room from an angle that shouldn't have existed. There was no camera listed inside the room. I knew every camera by number, by position, by blind spot. I had memorized them during training. This one wasn't on the map. I slowly raised my head and looked toward the ceiling. Nothing. Just the same stained tiles and a flickering fluorescent light. When I looked back at the screen, the image had changed slightly. The angle was closer now. Zoomed in. I could see my face clearly, pale and tense, eyes darting back and forth. I hadn't moved, but the camera had. My radio crackled again. This time, a voice came through, low and distorted, like it was being pushed through broken speakers. "You missed your patrol." I didn't respond. My throat felt tight, like I couldn't force a sound out even if I tried. The voice continued, calmer this time. "Fourth floor. East hallway." The monitor switched back to camera 4F03. The hallway was empty again. No figure. No shadow. Just fluorescent lights buzzing softly. I told myself this had to be a prank. Some sick joke from coworkers or management. But who would install a hidden camera just to mess with a night guard? And how did they know exactly when to speak? The radio crackled once more. "Go check." I should have left. I know that now. I should have grabbed my things, walked out the front door, and never looked back. But I didn't. I picked up my flashlight and forced myself to stand. My legs felt weak as I walked down the hallway toward the stairs. Each step echoed louder than it should have. The building felt tighter, like the walls were closer together than before. When I reached the fourth floor, the air was colder than anywhere else in the building. My breath fogged in front of me. The hallway lights flickered as I stepped out of the stairwell. Halfway down the corridor, I noticed something on the floor. Footprints. Dark, wet footprints leading away from the emergency exit. They weren't shoe prints. There was no tread, no pattern. Just long, uneven impressions, like bare feet dragged slightly with each step. They stopped right outside the security camera's field of view. I felt a pressure behind my eyes, the kind you get right before a migraine. My radio buzzed softly. No voice this time, just static. I turned to head back, and that's when I heard it behind me. Breathing. Not from the radio. Not from the walls. Right behind my ear. Slow. Calm. Familiar. Like it had been listening to me breathe all night and finally decided to answer. I spun around, flashlight raised. The hallway was empty. But the emergency exit door at the end of the corridor was open now, swaying slightly. I knew for a fact it had been locked. I checked it every patrol. I backed away, heart racing, and nearly tripped over something on the floor. My logbook. The one I had left on the desk downstairs. I picked it up with shaking hands and flipped it open. New entries had been written. Same handwriting as mine. Same pen. Same phrasing. Logs detailing patrols I hadn't done. Notes about camera checks I didn't remember making. The last entry sent a chill through me. Subject compliant. Subject unaware. The radio came alive again. "You're doing great," the voice said. "Almost done." The lights went out. All of them. The hallway dropped into complete darkness. My flashlight flickered, then died in my hand. In the pitch black, I heard movement. Not footsteps. Something heavier. Closer. The emergency exit slammed shut with a metallic bang that echoed through the floor. Suddenly, the light snapped back on. I was alone in the hallway again. No footprints. No logbook. No open door. My radio was silent. I didn't wait for another word. I ran. Down the stairs, through the hallway, back to the security room. The monitors were normal. Every camera showed empty hallways. Normal timestamps. Normal feeds. Like nothing had happened. I grabbed my jacket and keys and headed for the exit. As I pushed through the glass doors, I heard the radio one last time. See you tomorrow? I didn't come back the next night, or the night after that. I quit without notice. When I went in during the day to return my badge, my supervisor looked confused. He checked his records and frowned. You were never assigned to nights, he said. That position's been empty for months. I asked him about the cameras, about the fourth floor, about the breathing on the radio. He went quiet. Then he told me something I still think about every time I'm awake after midnight. The previous night guard had disappeared during his shift, walked into the building and was never seen leaving. The cameras showed him standing in the security room until exactly 3:17 a.m. After that, the feed switched to a different angle. An angle from above, watching him, just like it watched me. I had taken the night shift at the old municipal water treatment plant, mostly because no one else wanted it and the pay was surprisingly decent for such a dead-end job. The building was massive, industrial, with pipes everywhere, dripping water in slow, irregular patterns, echoing through the corridors. Most of the machinery had been automated years ago, leaving night shifts like mine almost pointless, but I needed the cash. My supervisor handed me a walkie-talkie and said, "Nothing ever happens here. Just keep an eye on the tanks and pumps. Don't fall asleep. And don't go near the old filtration wing. It's sealed for a reason." I laughed at that last part. Who cared about a locked wing in a place I had no reason to enter? The first night was uneventful. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, and the pipes groaned with each fluctuation of water flow. I walked my rounds, checked the gauges, logged minor changes, and sat back in the office chair thinking I could handle this every night. But on the second night, around 2:15 a.m., I heard it, a faint tapping. Not mechanical, not dripping water. Something light and deliberate, coming from the sealed filtration wing. I froze. My walkie-talkie was silent. I reminded myself it was probably just loose metal clanging against the pipes, or maybe the wind sneaking through a vent. But the tapping repeated, slow and measured, like footsteps or fingers on a metal surface. I tried to ignore it, keeping my focus on the monitors that showed nothing unusual. By 3 a.m. the tapping had grown louder, closer. My stomach tightened and I realized I could no longer convince myself it was natural. I walked toward the sealed wing, keys in hand, heart racing, flashlight cutting through the dim shadows. The lock on the door was old, rusted. It resisted at first, then clicked open. I didn't want to go in, but curiosity and the need to prove myself pushed me forward. Inside it was pitch black, the smell sharp with chemicals and mold. Pipes dripped steadily, creating random rhythms, but beneath that I could hear something else. Slow, scraping noises coming from somewhere deep inside the wing. I swept my flashlight across the room. Tanks, pipes, conveyor belts, nothing moving. Then I noticed the floor. Wet footprints, not from shoes, wet and uneven, leading toward a stairwell descending into the sub-basement. I hadn't seen anyone else in the building all night. I froze. The footprints ended abruptly at the bottom of the stairs. I didn't want to go down, but I had to know what made them. I took the first step. The metal groaned under my weight. I paused halfway. Another sound joined the dripping and scraping, whispering. Low, incoherent, like someone talking just out of understanding. I strained to hear, but the words didn't make sense. The air felt heavier, colder. My flashlight flickered, casting long, distorted shadows against the walls. I kept moving down, one careful step at a time. At the bottom, I saw something that made me almost drop the flashlight. Against the far wall, a pile of old equipment, buckets, hoses, tools, had been stacked in a way that looked deliberate, not messy, organized. And on top of it, something small and dark shifted. Not running, not fast, just a slight twitch. I froze, chest pounding, trying to convince myself it was a rat or a shadow. Then the whispering became a voice, sharp, angry, right in my ear. "Why are you here?" I spun around, flashlight beams slicing through the darkness. Empty. Nothing. No vent, no pipes, no other exits. I was alone. The voice came again, this time from all directions surrounding me. I stumbled backward, tripping over a hose. The flashlight hit the ground and spun across the floor, casting frantic, chaotic shadows. And then it stopped. Complete silence. My heart thundered in my chest. I picked up the flashlight, shining it across the basement. Nothing moved. The footprints were gone. The equipment pile was still silent. I could hear my own breathing, loud and uneven. I turned toward the stairs, ready to run back upstairs, and that's when I noticed the wall opposite me. Scratched, deep lines etched into the concrete, words almost legible in the dim light. "You shouldn't have come." My stomach dropped. My hands shook. I ran. Up the stairs, through the filtration wing, back to the office. The monitors were normal. The doors were locked. The building was silent again. But I couldn't shake the feeling that someone or something had been following me all night, just behind the corners of my vision, waiting. I finished my shift, heart racing, swearing I would never go near that wing again. And the moment I left, I realized the building was watching. The lights flickered as if saying goodbye. But in the echoing silence of the empty parking lot, I could still hear that whispering, faint, just behind me. I didn't sleep that day, staring at the ceiling in my tiny apartment, replaying everything from the night before. The whispers, the footsteps, the scratched warning on the wall. My phone buzzed with texts from friends, asking why I looked like a zombie. I didn't answer. I couldn't explain it. I had been alone, or so I thought. When night came again, I had no choice. I had to go back. Not because I wanted to, but because the plant needed someone to run the night shift. The elevator groaned as I descended to the basement, flashlight and keys clutched tight. I tried to shake off the dread that had settled in my chest like a stone. The filtration wing loomed ahead, sealed doors and all. I avoided it at first, patrolling the main floors. But the deeper I went into the plant, the heavier the air felt, the colder, as though the building itself was inhaling and exhaling around me. Around 2:30 a.m. the first sound came. Metal scraping softly against metal, low and deliberate, echoing through the corridors. My heartbeat spiked. I didn't want to look, didn't want to investigate, but my curiosity, and perhaps a sense of duty, pushed me forward. I approached the filtration wing again. The door, which I was certain had been locked, was slightly open, the lock scratched and worn, like someone had forced it recently. I tried to convince myself it was maintenance, a ghost employee working at night. But when I pushed it open, the smell hit me first, sharp, chemical, sour. My flashlight illuminated a maze of pipes, tanks, and racks of forgotten equipment. And then I saw it. Footprints. Wet, smeared, leading straight to the sub-basement stairs. My stomach turned. I knew I shouldn't follow, but I did. Each step down was heavier than the last, the metal groaning under my weight. The whispering returned, louder now, almost forming words. My flashlight flickered violently, shadows twisting around me like they had a life of their own. At the bottom, the air was thick, suffocating, almost vibrating with energy I couldn't explain. The pile of old equipment was gone, replaced by more footprints, smaller, faster, darting in impossible directions. The whispering grew urgent. "You're not supposed to be here," it said. I spun around, shining my flashlight in all directions. Nothing. Then a noise, a low, wet scraping, came from behind the tanks. I inched forward. The shadow shifted. My stomach dropped. I realized the movement wasn't natural. It didn't belong to anything human. I tried to back away, but the stairs were suddenly too far. The whispering wasn't coming from any one direction. It was everywhere. The words became clearer. "Leave. Or stay. Stay forever." My flashlight died. Complete darkness swallowed me. I fumbled with it, shaking, hands slick with sweat. When it flickered back on, I was closer to the tanks than before. I couldn't explain how I had moved. Something had guided me. And then I saw it. A figure crouched atop the catwalk above the tanks. Taller than any person, limbs bent wrong, motionless yet somehow watching. Its face was impossible to see, shrouded in darkness, but I felt its eyes piercing me, tracing every movement. I stumbled backward, tripping over the hose I had nearly missed the first time. The figure didn't move, didn't make a sound. But the whispering came again, insistent, almost pleading. Follow. Follow. My mind screamed to turn around, to run, to get out. But my body moved toward the shadow, compelled. Step by step, I followed, down twisted aisles, through damp corridors, deeper into parts of the plant I had never seen, never been told about. And then I realized the sub-basement didn't end. The corridors stretched impossibly long, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, flickering in patterns that hurt my eyes. The whispering became a voice, clear and human now. We're waiting. I stopped. My flashlight beam caught something carved into the wall. Dozens of names. Some old, some recent. And next to each, a date. Most were faded. The last one, today's date. My name wasn't there yet. I turned to run, but the path I had come down was gone. The stairs were gone. Only endless corridor. I could hear it now, breathing, close, moving silently behind me. I ran, my flashlight swinging wildly. Shadows leapt across the walls. The whispering taunted me. Almost, and then I stumbled into a room I didn't know existed. Concrete walls, empty except for a single metal chair in the center. On it, an old security helmet. I froze. The whispering stopped. Silence. I stepped closer. The helmet was warm. As I reached to touch it, the lights went out completely. In the darkness, I felt something wrap around my wrist, cold, gripping, pulling me down. I screamed. My flashlight hit the floor, spinning. When the light landed again, I was alone. The helmet was gone. The chair, the room, everything. Only the echo of my own breathing. I ran blindly back to the main floor, tripping, sliding, hands scraping against concrete. When I finally emerged from the filtration wing, doors sealed behind me, the lights flickered, the normal hum of the building returning. I looked at the monitors. Nothing. All cameras showed empty halls. Nothing had changed. But the walkie-talkie buzzed. A voice, calm, unmistakable, whispering right into my ear, "See you next night." I didn't sleep for 3 days. When I went back to collect my pay, the supervisor told me the filtration wing had been closed for renovations months ago. No one had been down there. No maintenance, no workers. He frowned when I asked about cameras in the sub-basement. "We don't have any. That area's sealed. Has been for years." I asked him about the names, about the whispers. He went pale. You didn't see them, right?" I nodded slowly, afraid to tell the truth. He told me some of the previous night's staff had disappeared. "Just don't go back after dark," he said, handing me my check. I left, swearing never to return. But even now at home, when the lights flicker or I hear dripping water in the middle of the night, I swear I hear that whisper, soft, insistent, calling my name, reminding me that I hadn't really left. That whatever is down there is patient and waiting for the next night shift.